Goes, there's no right time. There's just time, right? And what that really means is we don't understand that time is one of, if not the only finite resource we have, right? Money is infinite, technically speaking, so long as you have time, attention, respect, and all other resources that you can have are infinite. Time is one of the only finite resources. Now, I heard this on the radio this morning, right? And I was just listening to what they were discussing, and it's a concept that I actually very closely marinate into my being. What I mean by that is I know that I don't like playing with my time. I don't like people playing with my time, and I don't like playing with my time. But how does this relate to trading? So when we go to the charts, I actually this was my morning, right? I had a pretty good morning. I'm up like $388 for the morning. Just playing with US 30. I was buying in here. I started to sell in here. And the reason why I am really trying to showcase the understanding of time, it's trying to use what is happening in real time with this method that I trade. Right? Now there's another saying that goes, time in the market beats timing the market. People believe Warren Buffett said this, but it's actually Kenneth Fisher of Fisher Investments, right? And he said, I'll repeat it, time in the market beats timing the market. And what he means by that is just being in the market and trying to stay in your position as long as possible will almost always, undoubtedly, beat trying to get in at a very worthwhile position. Now that is up for debate because my method, using what you see me did here this morning, is actually very profitable. It works very good for me, right? And it allows me to make money very quickly because I'm taking advantage of what's happening in real time, right? Now, typically, most people cannot do this. Why? Because of greed. People think that they have all the time in the world. So they're going to get into a trade and then they're going to see how long the trade wants to go. But you're not a swing trader, are you? Right? You mightn't even be a day trader. You don't even know what kind of trader you are. The reason why this is important, knowing what kind of trader you are and what kind of style works for you, is because understanding how long you should be in that trade is what's going to dictate how successful you are using that method. If you are a day trader, then technically speaking, you want to hold the trade, the better part of a day, maybe even overnight. If you are a swing trader, then holding the trade long term makes more sense. Anything other than that, you shouldn't be holding the trades for very long, especially when you're not sure about what the market is going to do in the next 15-20 minutes. And I'll tell you this, everyone and no one is sure about what the market's going to do within the next 15-20 minutes because nobody knows. That's the reality. Nobody knows. Not you, not me, not anyone. Right? So we have to be very concerned with how the market behaves in time and how we should interact with the market over time. Right? Let's see what the market is doing right now. So right now it's still selling, as you can see clearly. Right now US 30 overall is a bullish market, but right now, it's selling. So the question is, should I sell it? Not necessarily. Because as if anyone would have been listening to me last week when I spoke about probability, right, you would understand that we have to take into account what is the highest probability trade that I could take. If I were to be interested in sells here, do I think it makes sense to sell here? And do I think it's very probable that the market will sell if I were to sell here? Probably not. And that in and of itself is one of the biggest problems because we're so interested in getting into the next trade. We don't take into account what the market is doing at this time right now. We don't take that into account. So when you look at how the market is reacting, not saying that it's not going to sell, I am saying that you're not taking into account what the market is actually trying to do. That's what you're not taking into account, right? And you're not taking into account the probability of that actually happening. So watch this. Now, yes, it is selling. Good, kudos. But what is the probability of that happening? Quite low. And I'll tell you why. There's no pullback within this big move. And US 30 is a bullish market. Look at what's going on here. This is live, people. This is live. I'm not saying that it is absolutely going to pull back, but again, it just makes sense. Look at how what's happening. Look at how the timing unfolded. The market dropped consistently from, let's just say, from this point for literally almost a half hour with no real pullback. What is the probability of, if I were to sell here now, that it would continue to sell? Now let's combine that now with what we're seeing. We're seeing maybe some rejection. You understand? You have to take into account what the market is doing real time, at least, at least for the understanding of this method, what I'm doing here. Right? If you like how I'm doing it here, that is very, very important. Understanding what the market is doing in real time. Have a good one, guys.